My name is Helen Coskeran and I'm the project manager for a large international and interdisciplinary programme at the University of Leeds called AFRICAP. So I previously worked with charities and non-governmental organisations or NGOs where I conducted monitoring and evaluation M&E activities in a range of areas. So those have included humanitarian assistance in the Middle East, maternal and child health in Kenya, and social entrepreneurship for university students in Rwanda and Sierra Leone. Since I joined AFRICAP at the University of Leeds, I've worked extensively on monitoring our progress and evaluating our impact through AFRICAP, as well as another GCRF-funded project, African Swift, that focuses on increasing capacity and weather forecasting in sub-Saharan Africa. So AFRICAP stands for Agriculture and Food System Resilience, Increasing Capacity and Advising Policy. It's a 4-year project funded by the UK government's Global Challenges Research Fund, and its main aim is to improve food and agriculture system resilience to climate change in 4 sub-Saharan African countries. My role within the programme is to manage all of the governance and financial matters, data management, as well as leading on capacity building at the individual and organisational level, and of course on monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation involves checking first of all that we're doing what we said we were going to do, and secondly that what we're doing is achieving the change it was supposed to. Those changes can be in a range of spheres, whether that's health, the environment, governance, or social and economic aspects. In practice, this involves establishing at the outset what our pathway to impact will be within the research. So what kind of outputs will the activities lead to? And that can be anything from fieldwork and lab work to events, for example. And then what kind of outcomes and impacts those outputs will end up achieving. And that could be changes in policy or behaviour, or an increased understanding or awareness of an issue within a specific group. To name a couple of examples from AFRICAP related to nutrition-sensitive agriculture, these have included producing evidence on the value of transitioning to soya bean in Zambia to decrease reliance on maize. Our pathway to impact involves producing this evidence and then taking it to policymakers to ensure that they can make decisions based around that evidence. The ultimate impact of this activity then might be environmental, so increased agricultural diversity, or social, for example, making households more food or nutrition secure. Another wider example from the AFRICAP project is a tool that we're developing called the iFeed tool. iFeed stands for Integrated Estimator of Emissions and Diets, and it draws together all of the research that we've produced during the last 4 years of our project in a range of different areas and builds them into a user-friendly online tool that policymakers and decision makers can use to guide the processes that they're putting in place to increase resilience to climate change within their specific context. So it's important to measure the change we're creating, both to help us understand what we're achieving, but also to keep us accountable to a range of stakeholders. We talk about upwards accountability, so that can be to the funder, for example, and also downward accountability, so that can be to those who are supposed to benefit from our research. It's important to measure this as time goes on so that we can understand our achievements. So in terms of keeping our upward accountability to our funder, that could be reporting on a regular basis, and in maintaining downward accountability to our target communities, that could be making sure that we're communicating the results of our research on a regular basis. But we can also use monitoring in the shorter term to understand any unintended consequences or unexpected achievements of the research and make changes where appropriate. In terms of the longer term, monitoring and measuring our outcomes and impacts is really important for research legacy. So it helps us to define where the need still lies in our area and helps us to shape future research questions around that need. So an important part of determining legacy is to ensure that the impact of your intervention or your project is still measured in the years following completion, in particular in cases where your research hopes to impact areas like policy, as we do on AFRICAP, because this is very unlikely to happen during the lifetime on the project and can take several years afterwards. The indicators you choose to measure against can relate to any number of areas in which you hope to achieve impact, and can relate to the level of that impact. So are they at the output or the outcome level? They can also be quantitative or qualitative, and it's best to ensure a mix of these. So some output indicators for a project conducting research into nutrition-sensitive agriculture might be as simple as something like the number of workshops on nutrition-sensitive agriculture conducted with target communities, or the number of publications and accompanying policy briefs on the topic in question. At the outcome or impact level, you're looking to measure the change that has come about as a result of those outputs. So you might, in this instance, have indicators like target communities report a decrease in undernutrition or hunger as a result of the nutrition-sensitive agriculture intervention, or policymakers report change in knowledge and attitudes towards nutrition-sensitive agriculture, which in turn can lead to nutrition becoming more integrated into national policy processes.